So what we're going to have a look at is the setting up of the blending of the IK arms and FK arms. Okay. So let's just as a temporary measure, let's I'm just going to hide this side so it's not getting in the way, and we've got three chains. Okay. And as I said before, this middle chain is either getting driven by the FK or getting driven by the IK, and we need some kind of switch to tell us which one this central joint chain is going to go to. And I did before constrain it to both, and you're switching on and off constraints, and it was actually quite a big setup. But relatively recently I've started using the color blend node, and this does exactly what we want. We've got two. Let's have a look. Red is fine. Pencil, okay. So this color blend node, we've either got FK coming in or IK coming in, and it can be a switch, this color blend node, and the output of that is driving the joint. Okay, so when we switch it, it's either FK that's driving it or it's IK that's driving it, and the switch is turning either one on or off simultaneously. That's the theory how it works. So let's put it into practice. The best way of doing this is using the node editor. Such a great tool. Let's bring up the node editor. And so part of this switch system, let's do the upper arm first. So I actually want all three upper arms, and to add them into the node editor you just click on the plus and it's added those three in there. Okay, so FK coming in and IK coming in. Okay, we will create a color blend node, and then that will drive the joint, the upper arm joint. So they're all upper arms. Very much like the the logic circuit that I just drew. To create a new node, you press Tab, okay, and that gives you that little icon, and start. I think it's called blend color. Oh, let me just type color. This is the American way, so it's COLOR, and you can see that it's isolated everything out that's got color in it, and it's blend color. So select it and press return. Okay, so this is the color blend node, and as you can see, once I've selected it, in your channel box there's the blender, which is the switch. 0.5 is set to both, and we've got RGB inputs on one side and RGB inputs on the other side. Okay, so I've got three ways, three inputs for the top and three inputs from the bottom. So I could use actually one color blend node to do the upper arm in the R, the elbow in the G, and the hand in the B, and they're the channels that it's switching between. So let's do that. So let's call this rig underscore arm underscore left, and I'll call it CB for color blend node. Okay. So, and the node editor is great. It's a very visual way of making connections. So we want the rotate out, and that. So because I'm using the full rotate, it's taking up all my RGB channels. So I'm going to have to set up a color blend node for one for the upper arm, one for the elbow, and one for the hand. That's okay. And as you can see, it's given me these unit conversion nodes. So FK's gone in to the channel 1, and rotate of the IK goes into color 2. So make sure that when you set the others up, that FK is always going into 1 and IK is going into 2. Otherwise, when you switch, it will switch half FK and half IK. And then the output is going into the rotate of your joint. Okay, so ignoring these unit conversions, I've got FK coming in one side, IK coming in another, and when I switch it, either one will be driving the rotations of the joint. Okay, and the way that you control it is with the blender, and we'll put that on an attribute. Okay, so that's the upper arm, and I'm going to call this upper arm just to be a little bit more pedantic. Okay, so that's the upper arms done. Let's do the elbows. Okay, so okay, so I can just select those nodes and clear the graph. Okay, so this time I need to go in and choose the elbows, add them into the graph, and with any node-based editor, I always find it really helpful to organize them how you want the logic to flow, and it will make a lot more sense. Press tab. We want the color blend colors. Okay, press enter. And again, I'm always a massive fan of name as you go. Rig underscore elbow underscore left underscore CB. So the rotations go into color 1. The rotations color 2, and then the output is going into the rotations of the joint. Okay, and those extra nodes you will find are just the conversion nodes. Okay, so that's that one done, and then lastly we just want the hands. Okay, so hand joint, hand FK, and IK, whoops, window, node editor. Let's just clear those. That's missed my selection. Okay, add those. Right, and same deal, FK, IK, hand. Tab, we're after the color blend. Press enter, and we shall call this rig underscore hand underscore left underscore CB, and we've got rotate going into color 1 for the FK, and then we've got the IK rotate going in to color 2, and then we've got the output going into the rotate of the joint. Okay, so rotate's coming in for FK, rotate's coming in for IK, and we're switching which one we want to drive the rotations of the joint. And that's all we're doing. There we go. Okay, so that's set up, and as you can see, if I click on the actual joints, so not the IK or the FK, you can see it's got a yellow to the rotation. So it's telling me I've got connections. Yellow is connection, so it's being driven by something else. Okay. We're going to set up a switch, and I find the best place to do that is on the clavicle. Modify add attribute, and let's just call it switch. You can call it anything you want, arm switch, IKFK switch, I'm going to set up an enum, okay, rather than a float. So rather than typing in 0 or 1, enum allows you to have little words that you choose between, and it's just a lot more elegant than the float values. I'm going to keep them as green and blue until I know which way around it is. Okay, and as you can see, the switch is there, and the enum means that you can choose between green or blue. So it works with green is 0, blue is 1. Okay. Right, final connections. That switch node is going to drive the blend in those color blend nodes. Okay, so when it's 0, it's one side of the switch, and when it's 1, it's the other side of the switch. So we need to find those color blend nodes, and often the best way of doing that is bring up your hypershade under utilities. You will see that it shows you the nodes. All right, so bring up the node editor, and let's just select those, clear it. Okay, so first of all, I want to add the actual joint, and as you can see, I've got the switch in there, so that's something that I can use to drive. And then I'll select all those 3 color blend nodes and add those, and I've got the right, I don't need the hypershade anymore, so I'll just get rid of that. So I've got the upper arm color blend node, the elbow color blend node, and the left hand. And as you can see, each color blend node has got this blender, and that's what I'm going to tap the switch into. So the switch goes into blender, the same switch goes into blender, the same switch goes into blender. Okay, so when I switch it, it switches all the upper arm, the entire arm, the upper arm, the elbow, and the hand all in one go. Okay. Let's test this and make sure it's all good. So I've just rotated the FK out, and I've just rotated the IK down. So you can see that the switch where it's set at the moment, which is green, is IK, because it's following the IK chain. When I switch it to blue, it jumps to FK. So that's my switch. Okay. So I know that blue is, when I select this, it's FK. All right. So switch it back to green, IK, back to blue, FK. So I just need to rename the switch. All right. Blue is FK. So just go into Modify, Edit Attributes. The switch is there. Blue, FK, and green is IK. Easy. So that way, I sort of rename them after. So IK switches to there, FK switches to there. Fantastic. Okay. So just set everything back to 0. Same for the FK. So I know my switching works. Okay. And that's it. So just to recap, FK coming in, IK coming in, and that is my color blend node. Okay, and I'm switching between either FK or IK, and these are the rotations. So it's FK rotations, IK rotations, and the output is driving the actual joint rotations. Right? And when I'm switching between either FK or IK, if I switch FK, it's that that's driving the rotations. Okay? And if I switch it the other way around, then it's IK driving the rotation. So it's just the simple switch that I'm setting up. Okay, and that's all done through the Blender channel of the color blend node, and I've just put a simple attribute on the cloud that switches. Okay, and that was an enum, just to give you a nice word choice, and that's really it, and that's so much easier than the constraints that you used to have to do. Okay, I'm not going to do the other side. You can follow these instructions and set it up for the other side, but when I come back to the next video, I'll already have that set up. And then the last thing is the IK arms, and then it's good to go.